Midlothian, hi, I'm Tim, and I'm here with Eduardo Gonzalez, a candidate for place three uh, as a MISD trustee. The school board is the body in charge of things like the finances and policies of the district. Eduardo, thanks for joining me today. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me on. I'm doing great.
Good, good. Eduardo, why don't you just take a second and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Yes, sir. My name is Eduardo Gonzalez. I am the incumbent seeking re-election. I am finishing my third year on the school board. Just a little bit about myself. I'm 47 years old. I've been married for 24 years to my wife, Cynthia. I have three children. My oldest is 19. He's a college student here in Navarro. And my two younger ones are students here in Midlothian. My daughter's a student at Dietrich Middle School. She's in seventh grade. And my son is a third grader at Gene Coleman Elementary. And just a little bit about myself. Our family, we are that family. 7 years ago, we moved to Midlothian ISD because of the schools. Prior to coming here, I had my children in private schools. And it became a point where I had three children in private school, and I had to make a decision. It just wasn't working out. So the next best thing to do is let's find a really good public school, and which is why we came to Midlothian.
Great. Well, like you, I think a lot of people came to Midlothian for the schools. I mean, I can tell you the schools were a major factor in me bringing my family here. So given that a lot of people move here for the schools, what's your vision that you think will keep the schools as something that the community can be proud of?
Yes. So growing up, this was back in the 80s. I came to visit family, and my family at the time lived in Cedar Hill, Texas. And at the time, when I visited Cedar Hill for the very first time, I was blown away just how beautiful it was. But one thing that really caught my attention was they had a nationally ranked high school at the time. And I mean, everything was so perfect about the town. When I moved to this area, my heart was set. I'm moving to Cedar Hill because that is a great place. This was in early 2000s. And through the years, I started noticing there was a decline as far as academic performance in Cedar Hill ISD, which is why I went the private school route. And then I kind of noticed one thing, and that thing was that the ISD makes the town. And I guarantee you, if a district is high performing, you're going to have a great place to live.
Okay. Well, so unfortunately, it's kind of accepted that MISD teachers tend to be underpaid compared to some of the surrounding districts. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I'm never going to accept low pay for our staff. However, 5-6 years ago, you couldn't get a job in Midlothian because you almost had to know people to get in. And at the time, Midlothian was significantly lower in pay compared to neighboring districts. But the draw was that Midlothian is a great place to work. And that was drawing a lot of people. Now, with the current culture, there's a teacher shortage. And even in Midlothian, we are seeking highly qualified staff. And those days are over where you get in because you knew people. Now, the great thing is that the district can really pick and choose highly qualified candidates. We are still behind on teacher pay. However, we are closing that gap compared to our neighboring districts.
Okay. So vouchers have been a pretty big topic lately. What are your thoughts of vouchers and the possibility that they may just become part of the educational landscape?
In looking at the big picture, most likely it's going to happen. And without taking sides, I think Midlothian, we need to not be afraid of this, because the way the current legislation and the way it's written out, this really would have little to no impact to Midlothian ISD. My role as a school trustee is to worry about Midlothian ISD. There's parents that want it. There's parents that don't want it. Now, the bill didn't pass. And because it didn't pass, Ellis County missed out on over $20 million of public education funding, which means we wouldn't be in the deficit we are right now. So, there's a lot of opinions about this. However, our teachers lost out on a possible pay raise. Last year, Midlothian ISD teachers did not get a pay raise. Had this passed, our teachers would have benefited from a pay raise. So I'm just presenting facts because I know there's a lot of opinions for and against it, but the facts that I'm looking at is that we lost out on a whole lot of money.
Okay. Well, so we have a pretty new superintendent. He hasn't been here a full year yet, but I know you, as the incumbent, as a member of the school board right now, you spend quite a bit of time with him. What are your thoughts on him, what he's done, and how he's done it so far?
Dr. David Belding, he was a great hire. It was a unanimous vote by the board. And so far, he has delivered on everything he has said. The great thing about Dr. Belding is that he comes with experience. He has 12 years experience. As a superintendent, he's served as a superintendent in 2 previous districts. He's very genuine. He's all about students. And he's always participating in everything. If there's an event going on in the district, I promise you, he will be there. But it's not just about being there. He also has the experience and the expertise to move us forward.
Well, great. So, talking about administrations, is there anything that the previous administration did that you wish had been done differently?
Yes. One of the reasons I ran for board is that I was watching a school board meeting, and this is about, I want to say 5 years ago. And at the time, the superintendent, he made a statement, a very bold statement. And that was, he said, we don't care about STAR scores. We're going to focus on students. And it's a great statement to make, as a pioneer. But the reality is, we do have to look at STAR scores. We do need to look at data. We do have to hold our community accountable. Like I said earlier, we got neighboring towns just north of us that declined because there wasn't a focus on academics. And that was a huge red flag for me when that was stated. One of the things that when I've come on the board, I've demanded, hey, let's look at data. Let's compare how our campuses are doing. And Tim, I'll be honest, I became a very unpopular guy when I started making those statements because the whole administration, got nervous. Like, wait a minute. We're going to look at schools and we're going to compare them in public. And it's okay. I think we got to hold our ISD accountable, and we got to make sure we're performing, because I guarantee you, the moment we're not performing, we're going to start to falter. Another thing about performance is that when I moved into Midlothian, guess what I looked at when I was deciding where I wanted to live? I was looking at the STAR performance of campuses. And we have some campuses that are really doing some great things. And you know what? There's a lot of home growth happening in those areas. So I'm glad that now this current administration is looking at data and student performance, because we also want to ensure that the students are learning.
Yeah, okay. So, as you know, you are one of 7, and I know you have visions for things that you want to accomplish. Do you feel like you have support from the other board members in getting some of these things done?
Yeah. So we are a team of 7. And the other day we were joking with Dr. Belding. I'm like, Dr. Belding, you're dealing with a 7-headed dragon. Because each board member has different opinions. Mm-hmm. But as collectively, we do want what is best for the district. We agree on most things, and there's times where we don't disagree, but we do it respectfully. And I admire each and every board member that I currently serve with, because we can disagree, let's in a meeting, then afterwards we might say, hey, let's go to Whataburger. I'm hungry. Me too. Let's go.
Great. So over the past couple of years, We've developed some budgetary limitations. We've had lowered tax income. We have had some bonds defeated, and the cost of everything is going up. So, given that, what are your thoughts on the looming potential for a deficit budget?
Yes. As a trustee, we do our best to be responsible with taxpayer money. Given the current situation we're in, as you know, the state of Texas has put some mandates on the district. We're supposed to have an armed guard at every campus, and that can look in different ways. It could be a security guard, it could be a marshal, but the district decided we're going to go with full-blown security resource officers. And they're not cheap, because along with officers comes cars, comes trainings, come equipment. However, protecting our students is at the forefront. We want to first make sure our students are safe before the learning piece comes. We always want to have a safe environment. And then you look at fuel costs, everything has gone up. State of Texas had a surplus of $32 billion. We have yet to see some of that money. Like I said earlier, it's most likely going to come. And there's going to be so many mixed feelings about it. But right now, we are facing a possible deficit. No, it's not possible. It will be a deficit. But I think it is worthy because I'm okay with it, because it's tied to staff pay raises. So I'm never okay with the deficit, but we also got to take care of our staff.
Okay.
Last year, we did not give a staff pay raise. This year, we're looking at giving a good pay raise to our staff.
Well, that's great news. I know a lot of the teachers
and I'm
will
okay with
enjoy
the
that.
deficit.
Yeah.
If we're going to be taking care of our teachers.
Okay. Great. Well, Eduardo, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. As we're wrapping up here, is there anything that you would like to speak directly to the citizens about? And feel free to just ask for their vote.
Yes, sir. Well, Tim, thank you, first of all, for having me here. 3 years ago, when I first ran, all I had to offer was promises. Promises that I was going to, hold the district accountable. Promises that we were going to support our teachers. Promises that I was going to do my best to lower the tax rate. And throughout the 3 years, I have kept my promises. I'm able to separate myself, Eduardo Gonzalez, from Trustee Gonzalez. And there's times I've made decisions where I voted against my own personal interest because I knew it was best for the district. I'll give you an example. I hate the new calendar we have. Because as a parent, that's 10 less school days that my son goes to school. And that's 10 days that I have to work out babysitting arrangements. But as a trustee, I knew that the teachers needed this. Teachers needed the time to plan. Teachers needed the time to, just kind of get things ready. Another thing that I took a bold stance on is I voted against the bond. I was the only one who voted against it. That was Trustee Eduardo who voted against it. One, I didn't feel it was packaged right for our community. I had little to no faith in it. However, being an educator, being a parent of students, I voted for it. However, I just didn't feel that it was the right package for a community. Those are some very hard decisions that I made, but I stood by my decisions. Another reason why I voted against it, because it was going to be a tax rate increase. Had we stayed within what the district can afford, within our bond capacity, I would have voted for it. So I'm the trustee who's committed. I do my research. I come prepared. I ask relevant questions. And at the same time, I enjoy serving my community, and I want to make this the best place to live. I am seeking re-election, so I am asking for your vote and your support. Please visit my website at Eduardo for MISD. I have a Facebook page. I am not hard to find. I'm willing to talk to anyone, to any group that wants to meet. I would love your support. Thank you.
Well, once again, thank you, Eduardo. Midlothian, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for taking the time to educate yourselves on all the candidates that you'll be voting for. I want you to care for your city, and it is virtuous to vote informed. Stay classy.